Hello everyone, this is Doe welcoming you back to another Sword of Convallaria video. Today we're going to explore my top picks for units from the role-based tier list from the other week, specifically for players with a lower spending budget. By low spender, I'm referring to players who buy both passes and some discounted Secret Fates packs on a monthly basis. At the moment, that would be around 140 pulls monthly. Without further ado, let's jump right in. A quick reminder that these picks are not based solely on an individual unit strength, but rather on building depth across your entire roster. Since low spenders have a much more restrictive pulling budget, my selections focus on the long-term viability of units. I believe low spenders will need to rely more on piercing and DOT teams in the future, so these recommendations take that into account. First, let's go through all the piercing and DOT units that synergize well with each other. Kvaer, the king of piercing and DOT in my opinion, is a must pull. By the time Season 2 Astral Imprint concludes, you should have enough Astral Shards and Cornucopia Fruit to obtain his 5-star Shadow Puppet Staff. I recommend getting him to at least 3 stars to increase his output, but if luck is on your side, he should be a priority unit to 5-star if you plan to rely heavily on piercing and DOT teams. Lutfi is another key unit to prioritize, as he can double as a strong single target DPS in a DOT team. Tyre plays a dual role by distributing incoming damage while simultaneously increasing piercing damage. Agatha, with her wound mechanics, further boosts the outgoing damage from piercing attacks. Meanwhile, Momo enhances DOT damage simply by existing, thanks to her trait. Speaking of DOT, keep in mind that there are two types. One scales its damage based on the enemy's HP percentage, such as Infection and Scorch, while the other scales off the unit's individual mechanics, like Life Loss and Ignite. The second type of DOT is the one you want to prioritize, as it remains effective regardless of enemy HP scaling reductions. In an ideal setup, you would want Kvaer, Lutfi, Tyre, Agatha, Luvita, Afra, and Momo to maximize your DOT and piercing damage output. Some of these units definitely need their 5-star upgrades to reach their full potential. That being said, I'm not saying you shouldn't pull for units in the supplementary category. They are still good picks if luck is on your side. My priority recommendations are meant to give you a more diverse playstyle rather than relying solely on one approach. For a more comprehensive breakdown of which DOT each unit has, check out my previous videos where I've already listed them in detail. Moving on to more traditional DPS team setups, SP Sophia is another priority unit to 5-star, along with her Nocturnal Glow. Similar to Kvaer, you should have enough resources to 5-star her sword by the time Season 2 Astral Imprint concludes. My suggestion is to use your Astral Shards or Cornucopia Fruit in Season 2 to fully upgrade both Kvaer's Shadow Puppet Staff and SP Sophia's Nocturnal Glow. Once you have both of them at 5 stars, you may want to shift your focus to Season 1 imprints, specifically for the Blood Luxite Amulet, which benefits either Tristan or SP Inanna. If you manage to get a few Shield of Justice copies along the way, that would also be a great versatile imprint trinket for multiple units. Speaking of SP Inanna, she is a fantastic choice for all spending levels, but especially for low spenders who want more options beyond just spamming DOT damage in the future. She should ideally be at a minimum of 3 stars, but if you want access to double Actigan at 5 stars, you should prioritize using Universal Shards on her. For an ideal traditional magic DPS setup, you would want SP Inanna, SP Sophia, Lutfi, Edda, and Tristan. If luck is on your side and you manage to pull Aisha, she would be a valuable addition to your magic DPS team. Aisha benefits greatly from Shield of Justice, so after maxing out Shadow Puppet Staff and Nocturnal Glow, Season 1 imprints might be your next priority. In terms of physical DPS setups, Estra is undoubtedly the best single-target DPS unit, unmatched by anyone. Neither August, Sophia, nor Tristan can compete with her overall output. For newer players who don't have these units yet, saving your pulls for Estra in the future would be a wise decision. Tristan is a solid single-target DPS option, but her damage potential is limited to short bursts. If you already have August but not Tristan, adding Estra to your roster can still give you a competitive edge. Lutfi, being the best debuffer in the game while also capable of functioning as a single target DPS, provides immense value for players working within a restricted budget. Homa further enhances your team's output with her bird's follow-up attacks and her ability to apply physical defense down 3 on a single target. SP Rawaya is a strong choice for AoE physical DPS stages, and since everyone is receiving her 5-star Gale Sword for free, she remains in the recommendations. She requires a minimum of 3 stars to be effective, but if you want her to act again every turn, getting her to 5 stars is essential. As you may have noticed, I've cut down the number of units in the secondary category. With a lower budget, it becomes much trickier to obtain all the recommended units compared to players with a higher spending budget. Because of this, I've moved several units down to the supplementary category purely due to budget limitations. However, if you happen to off-banner any of these units, know that they can still be incredibly useful for you. For example, Coco, even without her 5-star upgrade, can still be a great healer, amplifier, and tank. Base Inanna will remain your only other source of act again, and when paired with her SP form, she can function as a solid sub-DPS in a magic team. Gloria can still serve as a great sub-DPS while offering support to the team. Base Sophia remains a strong single-target DPS in stages where there are no percentage damage reduction mutations. Levita can still perform well as an AoE magic DPS even without relying on her Ignite mechanics. Flavia provides valuable defensive support, helping to shield your team from hard-hitting enemies. So that's it for today's video. I know recommending Momo over August and Sophia might be a bit controversial, but keep in mind that this pick is based on the assumption that you will be getting Estra to fill the physical DPS role. Having Momo to amplify the outgoing DOT damage from Kaveh, Lutfi, and Agata makes more sense to me for building a well-rounded roster within a restricted budget. Let me know in the comments what your plans are as a low spender. Would you go all in on a piercing and DOT team setup, or would you prefer to have access to different play styles? As usual, this is a sponsored video, so if you haven't already, download the game through the link in the description to support the channel. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Stay cool, stay crispy. This is Doe signing off. See you in the next video.